Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of our third River Rapids Ride Creation Contest. In this contest, all the players had to create a River Rapids ride, of which you can see an example here from one that I built recently in my tutorial park. Now, something else which the guests had, or the players had to do in this contest is to place down a cool dude somewhere in the park, which is the object you can see here. Yeah, quite a few of the players put one down in a pretty funny position, so it will be funny to check those out as well. Alright, I will now go through all the entries for this contest, starting with the entry that got last place, and I'll finish by announcing who is the winner of this round. Alright, in 14th place we have this entry from Alex0903. He's a newcomer on my Discord, and he created this River Rapids ride out in the open. Typically that's not really how you will see a River Rapids ride. Typically they will be somewhere in the middle of the land, and the reason you then make these barriers is so that then you can fill up the land behind them with stuff. For example, you could have land like this, and then you could fill the stuff, the area behind it with ruins, bushes, etc. So this is typically not how you will find a river rapid like this, but I think it is a good start. It's quite a big hill over here with a large drop as well. Yeah, maybe there's a few too many boats on this track, because the boats that are full of guests, they just end up going fast through this curve and then collide with the boat in front. But maybe may have been a little bit better to have a few less boats on the track. Although I must say, on quite a few real River Rapids rides, the boats do actually bump into each other. Now, as for the landscaping, these palm trees are alright, I think, but I would not mix them with these plastic-looking palm trees from the expansions. I don't really think it's a good mix. Now, we can also see some cool dudes. They're just chilling here right in the corner. Alright, next up is the entry from Inferno the Fox. Inferno the Fox, I believe, recreated a scene from a game. Now, I'm not really familiar with the game, but maybe you do recognize it. So let's see where the station is. I believe it's over here. So here's a sort of semicircular station where the boats arrive, and then they go underground, where they go through this tunnel, then they go up here. And here they do a little circular section around these crystals. Here's a bit of an indoor section with a large drop, and then here they return back to the station. Now, I always do recommend after you have a big drop for any ride, for any water ride I should say, is to actually leave a bit of a runoff area that is preferably straight. Because these boats will have a lot of energy going down. So it always looks a little bit weird to have to immediately go through a curve. Then also you don't really have to brake them so fast over here. Although they do look like they lose some speed naturally here. Overall, I think it looks alright. Although something which I recommend to do is for these sharp edges for this land transition is to make it look a little bit more natural. For example, we could do something like this, just to have it slope down a little bit more gradually, and that I think that makes it a little bit more pleasant to look at. Probably also a good idea to avoid placing these bushes down in the void. Now, and we of course also have a cool dude who's hidden right behind this wall here. Alright, here's the entry from Wes. Wes made a really small entry, which is what he usually does. So we have this River Rapids just going around this sort of like a figure 8. Now it doesn't really do anything spectacular, there's just some interaction with the water. I think it would have been a good idea to actually raise up the station a little bit, so the boats at least have at least one place in the track to drop down a little bit. But yeah, Wes just decided to keep it a completely flat track, which is also an option, of course. No, I quite like the style of the ruins here. I think that looks pretty nice. Also like this lower down pyramid. Now, of course, there's also a cool dude in the map. and it's right here, right hidden under the Sphinx butt. Right, here's an entry from Widget Kitty, and Widget Kitty actually decided to use the normal River Rapids track. I typically avoid using this track, especially in these tunnels where it just looks really tight. But yeah, of course, if you want to use this track, you still can. And boats just drop down into these tunnels here where the tracks disappear. Well, the red track comes out on the right, the green track on the left, and the white track continues underground here. And there's actually quite a large section of underground track with all these different kinds of elements. Something which I typically recommend you don't do. It's much nicer if nice elements of your track are actually above ground where people can see them. Here it's mostly this straight track, also with some more drops, some waterfalls. I think that's actually pretty nice. But I liked a little bit less for this track that's visible here, the white track on top of the green track. Yeah, it's just basically floating here with nothing to really hold it up. So probably some extra supports here maybe would have been nice. Yeah, overall, I think it's a quite nice style. I quite like all these little buildings here. Also how the path is decorated. Of course, we also have a cool dude who is neatly hidden away inside this tower. Alright, next entry is from Jacco Walraven, a newcomer on my Discord, and he has already joined several contests, so that's always really nice. Now, I really like the style of this entry. There's lots of different landscapes, and it's really dense with scenery. I think that's really cool. Lots of different styles, also several from the expansions, all mixed with original scenery. I think that's pretty nice. There's a circular station over here. It's a little bit difficult to see with all these trees surrounding it. Maybe it would have been nice if it was a little bit more open, so we could see more of the actual boats here. Now from that, there's a track which has several curves, but it's mostly just a straight track, and the boats actually go quite fast through here. But yeah, like I said, lots of straight track. Maybe it would be nice if the track was a little bit more curvy, because that's what you typically see for real River Rapids rides. That might be something to consider for next time when Jacco Walraven builds one of these. But yeah, like I said, I really like the scenery in the map. It's really dense. I think that looks really cool. And we also have a cool dude hidden on the map who is shouting at this brick wall inside this castle. Right, here's the entry from NFE. NFE made this River Rapids ride inside a jungle. And it actually looks like it passes over itself several times. It's a pretty complicated layout. But I think that's a pretty neat choice. Over here we have this circular station with one of these rotating platforms. And from there the boats drop down. I believe they go over here. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, very dense with the jungle. I think NFE did a really nice job on the foliage here. Another drop under this bridge, some nice interaction here. Then there's this lift hill passing over the station. And then the boats go to this section here in the back. And then here there's another lift. And then they pass under themselves again and then back to the station. Quite a lot of distance covered by these boats in this layout. And they cross each other several times. I think that's pretty nice. You can also see a drop tower over here. I like how NFE used these vertical drop coaster trains. And then they just come to a sudden stop here at the bottom. I can definitely recommend using some brakes on the control track to at least slow them down for the last few meters. Yeah, of course, we also have a cool dude here. And that's probably also what the track is called after, because it's called Rio Cool. Right, here's the entry from Max Arceus. Now, he made a really shitty entry, as he called it himself. Actually, when you open the park, you actually get a prize for most stinky park. There's also some other messages appearing. But yeah, he basically made a river of poop with also river rapids traveling around it. Now here's the station of the ride. It's called El Rio Grande. So riool is Dutch for sewer. I think the station actually looks really cool. From there, the boats drop down through these twists. I think that's a really cool usage of the twist ride. Make it look like these devices which are stirring the water. I think it works really well. Yeah, and from there the boats do several more shenanigans. Here they get blasted up, and then they go through this track up here. There's this big tank over here. Now, I used some of these multi-dimension coaster vehicles to make it look like a big sort of propeller. But of course, it's really difficult to time them right, so I already recommend him to not do this. Maybe another twist ride would have just looked better here. And then from there, the boats drop down here into the river. And he used lots of litter here in the river to make it look very dirty. Now, something which I recommend not to do is when you have a big drop like this, to immediately make the boats go around this turn here. I think that looks really weird. Probably a runoff area that goes straight ahead would have been best. But of course, just my advice. Oh, here we have a pretty nice conveyor. I really like that. Although this is a little bit on the glitchy side, maybe it would have been better to have the boats a little bit above the track. And here's some more decoration before the boats return back to the station. But yeah, I think it's a really, really cool entry. There's lots of cool decoration. We also have a toilet over here, lots of other stuff going on. I think it's a really fun entry to go and explore for yourself. We have a big pile of doo-doo here. Yeah, it's just a really funny entry. Now, and then finally, of course, we also have a cool dude here. And I'm just not going to say too much about this one. Alright, here's the entry from Something About Bears. He hasn't joined the contest in almost a year, so it's nice to see him back. And yeah, once again he made a very vertical entry. I always like that. So yeah, a station for the river rapids is over here, circular station. And after that the boats climb up and go down several times. So yeah, quite a lot of verticality in this entry, and quite a lot of big drops for these river rapids. So yeah, here's some more big lift hills, some more big drops, and finally it reaches to this enormous drop here. Now this is something that I thought was maybe a little bit of a strange design choice. We have this huge drop down here, and then immediately here at the drop there's this huge pile of rocks with a waterfall. If I had to design this, I would have probably moved this back 2 tiles so the boats could at least drop down here unobstructed. This looks a little bit of a safety hazard. Now, as for the rest of the map, I think these buildings look really cool. I like how they're all different colors. I think these buildings just look incredible. So yeah, it's really nice to see an entry again from Something About Bears. Now, I had to give Something About Bears a small penalty because he didn't actually put a cool dude in the park, but he thought a cowboy was suitable as a cool dude too. So of course that's not acceptable. Okay, here we have the entry from Madezalk. Now, Madezalk made this entry with these beautiful buildings here. I think the station for this river rapids ride just looks incredible. Yeah, it's just an insanely nice building. And there's several more of these beautiful buildings in the park as well. Also really like this one for this coaster that we have over here. Looks like a Gerstlauer bobsled coaster. But yeah, I think the river rapids track looks really nice, especially here in this section. I really love the way these railings are done, and over here it also just looks really nice. So some more of these cannons here, just for some interaction. I think that looks really good. Now the part of the river rapids that I didn't really like was this section over here out in the open. Yeah, I think this part maybe this looks a little bit rushed. These barriers, I think they look really thin. And I'm not really sure why Madezalk chose to put an igloo here. I don't really think it looks in place here. But yeah, aside from this section here in the open water, I think the river rapids just look incredible. And especially these buildings, I think they're really the highlight of the park. Now, of course, we also have a cool dude somewhere in the park, and he's just hiding out in this building here. Alright, I also joined this contest, and I teamed up with Lurker. Now, to be fair, Lurker actually built most of the map, and then he sent it to me, and I helped him to detail it. So that's pretty much how it went. Also did some changes on the layout of the River Rapids ride. I did most of the barriers, but Lurker actually mostly did most of the work in the park. But yeah, we built this River Rapids ride over here, which uses an old mine which was flooded. So the boats leave the station over here, then they go through some old tunnels here, and after at some point they reach a ventilation shaft. Here they pop out of the building, they drop down, and then they go through the rest of the track. So yeah, just a long winding river with several drops in it. Also some of these spinning barrels. And here we put some staff members down. Also with some of these splash cannons. One of them is also broken. And finally here they return back to the station. But yeah, I thought Lurker did an incredible job at most of the landscaping here. That's really I think, yeah, that's really something about his style which I really enjoy. And I think Lurker also did an incredible job on these buildings. And yeah, like I said, I just helped with most of the detailing. And of course, I also built this little star flyer over here. It's a kind of ride that I really enjoy making. Now, something which the park, of course, also has is a cool dude. So over here we can find a guest who's looking for cryptids, and over here we can see a Bigfoot rampaging around in the forest. Right, next entry is from Johnson. Johnson made this beautiful park, which has everything from a parking lot to tickets and lockers, big fountain, a nice coaster over here, and some other swinging ride. And of course, here in the middle, we find a River Rapids ride. Now, it's very compact, maybe a little bit too compact for a River Rapids ride, but I think it does look really beautiful. So yeah, we have a circular station here on top, and from there, guests almost immediately drop down to a lower section. Then there's just one turn and another drop, and yeah, then there's this 180-degree turn, and then there's another drop, and then they do some underground stuff, and then there's another drop, and then they return back to the station. Yeah, I think Johnson could have easily extended this layout a bit, but of course that would have meant sacrificing other parts of the park. I don't really think it's necessary to completely encircle this ride with path, and then the River Rapids could have definitely been extended a bit. But still, even these compact River Rapids, I think they actually do look really cool. So yeah, I think Johnson just did a wonderful job on this park. I think he decorated it in a beautiful way. And of course, there's also a cool dude in the park, which we can find right over here. Alright, then we arrive at the top 3. Here's the entry from Low Poly Surf. Low Poly Surf made this very interesting River Rapids ride in this beautiful landscape. First off, I really like the rock work here. It's something which we see quite often lately. So rock work using these, what looks like basalt rocks. Actually, prison fences from one of the expansions. But yeah, they work quite well as basalt rocks. You can also see actual trees used as foliage, but also these castle towers. I think it's a really interesting choice. Over here we have a circular station with a beautiful building. And yeah, and the boats go up here with this conveyor belt. I think that's also really nicely done. It uses these bogies from the reverser coaster. and then the boats go quite high up, and then they travel through this landscape here with several drops down. Also a bit of a turnaround section here where the where the boats pass under their own track. I think that's also pretty nice. Now, something which I did recommend low poly to do is to actually add another layer of track here, or at least hide these footers, but I think low poly didn't have time for that. I think that would have made it look even nicer. Yeah, I think the interior looks really nice. It's pretty sparsely decorated here in the corners, but yeah, it's just decorated in a really nice way. And I actually really like these autumn colors for the trees. Also like this little farming landscape. So yeah, I think low poly did an amazing job here. Now, of course, there's also a cool dude hiding somewhere in the map. To find it, we'll have to rotate the view here. And here he is, right next to the lift hill. Alright, there's just 2 entries remaining. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Alright, here's the entry from Enox and Manticore, and they recreated Piranha from the Efteling. Yeah, they just did an insane job recreating the station for this ride. So it's this big building, and inside there's this big circular rotating platform. So let's see if we use the cutaway view. Here we can see it in action. And let's see where the guests go from there. So from there, the guests actually first travel through a covered section of the building, which we can see over here. And then here they pop out outside. Now the landscaping decoration here is just incredible. I love all this rock work. But also the foliage here is just insane. I love this mix of all these different plants and trees and bushes. I also love these handymen sweeping up the litter in the middle. Also, yeah, these spinning barrels here, all the rock work. Yeah, they did an incredible job on that. You can even see some of these jumping fountains here, which I think is a really cool detail. We can also see some of these what are they called? These speakers. See some speakers here next to the track. I think that's also a really cool detail. So yeah, these 2 players just have such an incredible eye for detail. It's always a joy to see an entry from Enox and Manticore, and especially when they work together. Yeah, also a little bit of extra storage here for extra boats. Also see here some a little staff scene here. But yeah, Manticore and Enox just did an incredible job in their entry. Now, of course, the entry also has a cool dude, and for that they actually used one of these, what's it called? A marionette. So at some point, Efteling had these giant marionettes driving around. That's actually what they used this cool dude for. I think that's a really cool use for this object. So yeah, incredible job from Manticore and Enox. Alright, and here's the final entry of the round. This is the entry from SolX, and he actually did a recreation of the winner of the first River Rapids contest. So I'll quickly show the winner of the first River Rapids contest. This was also the first ride creation contest ever on this Discord, or in this community. So here we see the original entry. So we can see a big colorful tower here. And then we see the River Rapids going down all these big drops here. And then finally here we see these boats traveling vertically up with this hardline twister coaster lift hill. Now I think it's really fun that SolX made a nod to the first winner. So here we can see, of course, the big tower, a little bit less colorful, but still all the more impressive. We can see the River Rapids boats traveling down here. Now they don't actually jump down the waterfalls, but they go through a circular whirlpool track here. I think this looks incredible. There's one more of those over here. And here we still see the big hardline twister coaster lift hill, but now it's black instead of red and yellow. Yeah, I think it's just really cool what SolX did here. Even if you haven't ever seen the original, this map is really well done. I love how SolX did all these rivers here, but also these buildings. They just look incredible. Yeah, the structure looks amazing. I also love how it's all intertwined with this railway here. Yeah, the landscaping is just it's just incredible along this map. Yeah, Solex did an incredible job on everything in this map. Wonderful work. Now, of course, there's also a cool dude somewhere in this map. And where can we find him again? Ah, he's right over here. It says join DKMP and be your own cool guy. I agree with that. If you also want to join DKMP, you can find a link to my Discord in the video description. Alright, it's now time to reveal which one of these last two entries is the winner of this round. Is it this nod to the original winner from SolX? Or is it Piranha at the Efteling from Inox and Manticore? And the winner of the third River Rapids contest is... SolX with his nod to the original winner. I think it's wonderful what SolX did in this map. It just looks incredible. I love all the elevation changes here. And yeah, just SolX made the original entry just look so much nicer. And yeah, I think it's a really deserved winner. So yeah, a wonderful job done by SolX. Now we had lots of beautiful entries in this round. I also really enjoyed joining one of these contests again. It was really fun. And I really enjoyed seeing all these entries that people submitted to me. Now that's going to be it for this video. If you liked this video, please consider hitting that like button. And if you want to see more videos like these, you can always subscribe to my channel. Right, a new contest will start soon. If you also want to join, just become a member on my Discord server. You can find a link in the video description. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.